guys, it is that time again. We got a new DOKKANFEST EZA TUR, int Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. So that means it is time to update the EZA DOKKANFEST TUR tier list. What I like to do is I like to keep these DOKKANFEST characters in a group to themselves, and then I've kind of decided to put characters like God Goku and AGL Golden Frieza. I keep them as sort of banner units, because that's what they are, right? God Goku and AGL Golden Frieza, they're on every single banner, while these characters are not. So I feel like that's a good way to sort of go about it, right? So, okay. Let's take a look at what we got here. So, I actually did move some stuff around. I feel like my feelings have changed a bit on these characters as I've really expanded towards using a lot more teams. I would say in the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone. I think the movie Red Zone and the GT Red Zone are still very important, but probably Wicked Bloodline Red Zone and Cell Max is a little bit more, I don't know if I want to use this, like, say relevant, but it's more fresh, it's more recent. So I feel like gearing it a little bit more towards that stuff does feel right to me. But I don't know. Let's just start with the unit I have at number 10. So we have Tech Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku, right? That nonsense name. Now, me dropping him a bit, this is more so just because I feel like GT is just horrendous, right? I don't know. Pan, this guy, like all these characters, I'm just way down on every unit on GT Heroes, except for like LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I'm just super down on all these characters. It's like, I feel like GT actually needs a lot. They need huge help. This guy can be pretty good, I think, if you're using him against, Red Zone Metal Cooler, AGL Boss. This guy could be good against like Red Zone Broly, another strong AGL boss. But for the most part, it's like, I don't know, like he's pretty basic. The one thing I do like about like this guy, Metal Cooler, I think even in Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, right? There's like a level of consistency to them that many of these EZA TURs do not have, right? A lot of them, Dokkan went quite a while in a row where a lot of them were just like huge RNG fests, right? Does Turles transform and start stacking? Does Blue Vegeta transform and become really good defensively, right? Is STR Gohan guarding? Is Namek Goku guarding, right? Like, these things really matter for these characters, right? All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab AGL Evolution Blue Vegeta right here. I feel like this guy's hung in there, right? Like, it's now been many characters have come out since this guy's come out. And I kind of like what he's able to do, right? Using him on Majin Vegeta's team, I feel like this guy can really, like, hang in there strong. It's one of those things where once he transforms into Evolution Blue, he's much better. But, we do want to keep in mind that where, like, this guy was, I feel like, really impressive on release. It's just we've had way more characters come out that sort of have had similar performance or slightly better performance or something like that. Now, I think for like so if we're looking like spots like 10 to like 5, I feel like are really up in the air. A lot of these characters, let's just go ahead and jump on to the next one, is AGL Turles. I've felt AGL Turles and Blue Vegeta, they've been pretty close pretty much the entire time they've both been out, right? Because again, it's like when this guy transforms, I feel like he's really, really good. And then Turles has some of the highest potential on this list, period, right? Like, this guy could get up to like 700k defense while supporting, doing good damage, having a good link set with some of the best characters in the game, right? These coolers and that movie bosses team and stuff like that. But a lot of them, again, it's a huge RNG fest. Turles in particular is going to be a lot better. Once some of these tough fights are against super class enemies. Keep in mind that at the moment, every Red Zone stage is an extreme class enemy, and then Cell Max, right? What is it, 20 stages? All the Red Zone fights plus Cell Max, right, are all villains. Turles will be a bit better once it's there's some super class enemies, which I'm hoping and thinking will probably happen with the 8th anniversary. I like this guy. I feel like Turles, they did a good job with his EZA. Turles will probably be, unless there's massive, unbelievable power creep, for 8th anniversary. Turles should stick around for a while. I think what he can bring to the table is pretty decent. And I actually bumped STR Ultimate Gohan up a little bit here. I just feel like I do, like, this is, you know, again, another one of these huge RNG fest, huge high risk, high reward factor type characters. But, you know, I've used this guy. I think a lot of it might be maybe some of my runs on Carnival Goku's team. You know, using this guy against like the Metal Cooler core fight, it can be very tough. This guy's pretty good. Now, I feel like these four, you can jumble these guys an awful lot, right? And then it's like Tech VB, STR Rose, AGL Super 17 are kind of in the mix as well. I like what I've seen from this guy, getting the guard up, having the additionals and stuff like that. But I think these characters are very close. I'm doing the, you know, the new DOKKANFEST TUR list, right, with like Kid Goku and the Gammas and stuff like that. And it just feels much more straightforward, obvious, like which characters are better than others. This one is tough, because it's like, dude, even Tech Vegeta Blue, who I have him 12, I believe. I've got it right here. I don't want to reveal it yet, but I believe I have Tech Vegeta Blue at 12. He could quadruple super turn 1, and then all of a sudden he's going to be God really fast, Tech Vegeta Blue, right? So it's like, you do want to keep in mind, like, people go crazy, oh my god, this character's at this spot. Dude, these EZA TURs, a lot of them are just roulettis, right? Like, it's like, yeah, you know, you could think like, oh my god, my Turles is so crazy, but could easily, he just sucks ass in a lot of these fights. A lot of them are like that. Next we have Kid Goku. I actually rather like this Kid Goku. The problem here, and I guess we can grab Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, who I actually have right here. I think the problem here is more so that this Kid Goku is Kid Goku, right? So it's like he's competing with, I've found to be one of the most versatile characters maybe ever, the DOKKANFEST Path to Power Kid Goku, who is Rainbow Orb changing, giving damage reduction to the rotation, supporting crazy actives, like, just everything he brings it, like, it's just so crazy bringing that Kid Goku around. And he does kind of clash with this guy a little bit, because the thing about the physical Kid Goku is you probably do want to leave him in slot 2 most of the time, which is a problem with this guy, because, you know, that's the same thing with, like, the Tech Final Form Cooler, is that, you know, you want to run LR Final Form Cooler, so the Tech Final Form Cooler is just kind of like shit out of luck. That's kind of the same thing I think that happens with this Kid Goku. I've found this guy to be very good. He could triple super, he's got the guaranteed crits, he has the really powerful active skill. I mean, looking at these characters, he's the only one that has an active skill attack. I guess Namek Goku does too. So we have what? There's now 3 active skill EZA characters on this list. STR Namek Goku, STR Cooler, and then this Kid Goku. All 3 of them have active skills, right? It's going to be interesting as we're starting to get to very sort of like modern characters. STR Cooler, I would say, is like he I mean, he's now over 3 years old, but he still feels like more so like a modern age Dokkan unit, right? Whereas something like STR Ultimate Gohan, he is much, much older, right? 2017, right? So, so in Kid Goku, I do like what he's able to bring to the table. Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, the thing about these two, both of them I probably like much better just taking with type advantage. Most of these characters, the way I would be playing at this point, right, with how strong a lot of these teams have gotten, is like Bardock, like, will bring against like Cell Max and Bojack, right? STR Ultimate Gohan, you can go type neutral with him a little bit more than the other characters, or type disadvantage, because he can guard, right, which is huge. Remember, when STR Ultimate Gohan gets his guard up, he's got it up for 4 turns, which is very, very helpful. You know, Blue Vegeta I really want to use against, what's it? Well, actually, yeah, who's an STR? I feel like there's like no strong STR bosses, right? Wait a minute, because Full Power Frieza is Tech, Final Form Cooler is Int, then Metal Cooler is AGL, and then the Metal Cooler core is physical, right? So like the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone doesn't have like a final phase that ends with a super powerful STR boss. And then, I mean, it's like Super 17. I guess the issue there for Blue Vegeta is that then Blue Vegeta's just doing beam supers. So, like, you can't really use him. Yeah, interesting. That I'm thinking of that right now. I guess the Shadow Dragon fight, Nova is seemingly the most, he does the most damage in that fight. He's STR. And I guess it's like, you know, you could bring, like, that Blue Vegeta. I like using him against Sin, I guess, Omega, who has the STR phase. It's like both Omega and Broly have a tough STR phase in there, but none of these bosses end with STR. But the point is, a lot of times these characters, like pretty much all of these, what you want to do is you want to bring them to whatever fight they have type advantage against, right? Bardock and Kid Goku, it just so happens, I think Cell Max is probably the toughest fight in the game because he just hits so hard. Now this Bardock he's decent. I really do wish they'd given him more defensive ability. I've found that he can hang in there with type advantage, right? Even type neutral things can get a little bit spooky. Obviously, type disadvantage is really bad. But, I mean, he is bringing a lot of damage to the table. He does crazy damage with those double supers. And then this is nice, right? Like, these support buffs that some of these characters give. This Bardock's got one. SG Ultimate Gohan has got some support he gives. AGL Turles, of course. I mean, support is very helpful when you're fighting bosses that hit as hard as they do, right? You know, just characters that are bringing more to the table than just look at this high attack stat or look at this high defensive stat, right? Like, more things than just that, right, is really good. So, that's good. In Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, it's like, I feel like I want him lower, but it's like, am I going to put him below Kid Goku? No, because there's one Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, essentially. There's actually two. There's the AGL one, but, I mean, he's not, right? That's an SSR from 5 years ago. He's not doing anything. It's like that Super Saiyan 3 Bardock being the only one, and he has a 50% support versus Kid Goku, who is competing with, again, like the most versatile unit in the game. It hurts Kid Goku. Whereas Bardock is not competing with anything, right? That's another reason. It's just, we're probably, like, we might get another Super Saiyan 3 Bardock unit at some point, sure. But it's not the same thing as, like, Kid Goku, where it's like, we're definitely getting, like, a mega good Kid Goku again. But, like, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, this is the character, I do wish this guy had been number one clear, like, free and far and ahead, because the rest of these characters on this list are getting a lot more units in the future, for sure. Whereas, like, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, probably not. Then we have AGL Metal Cooler just right above. I like what AGL Metal Cooler brings to the table in terms of his consistency and stuff like that. I guess you could point a similar issue with him, compared to, like, Kid Goku, where it's like, you know, the Wicked Bloodline team, you might be running double LR Metal Cooler. But, you know, a lot of Metal Coolers on the team does equate to a lot of healing. I like Metal Cooler. AGL Metal Cooler, to me, he's a pretty good unit. I've enjoyed using him. I think he can put in some decent work, actually. This guy can get up to a pretty good defensive level. I feel like potentially better than some of these other easy ATURs. Metal Cooler, right around there, feels right to me. Then we have Physical Future Gohan up here at 3. I don't know that there's really too much for me to talk about with this guy. This is a character that was completely transformed, just like in Majin Vegeta, by the existence of LR Future Gohan, or LR Future Trunks and Blue Vegeta, right? With Vegeta and Trunks existing, this guy and Majin Vegeta both get a lot better. This guy is pretty useful. Very good defensive character. This guy is able to survive, like, AGL Broly super attacks, even without a Future Trunks on rotation, right? Which, to me, is pretty impressive. I like Future Gohan quite a bit. Then at number 2, we have Ise Namek Goku. Every single time I drop one of these lists, specifically, I swear to God, I see, like, 50 French quote tweets upset about this guy. I'm sorry. Dude, you go into these tough fights. I mean, if you're running, I don't know, pure Saiyans, like, yeah, you probably don't need the most reason to run this guy ever when, you know, it's like, oh, I'll just run the gods and LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Carnival Goku and blah, 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 right? Like, you just have so many options. But, like, this guy is on a lot of teams, and I have had this guy completely clutch it out, right? So, you transform with him into Super Saiyan. He then is able to stack, you know, he's got the chance to guard, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this active skill, I have won so many no-item red zone fights off of this guy's active skill. I know it seems crazy, but this rage mode, turn 5 or beyond, under 50% HP, you transform with him, right? Then potentially you could clear the turn, right? Maybe if, you know, for example, I won, what team was I using? Was it Kid Goku? It might have been Kid Goku in the Kid Goku run against Bojack, where Bojack had locked a character in a spot I didn't want it locked. I use this guy's active skill, right? He then creates STR orbs. I save the STR orbs. I just get a bunch of his super attacks, save the STR orbs that will de-transform out of the rage mode. I'll then be able to get the STR orbs with this guy because he's been stacking his defense, right? So then I'm able to heal hundreds of thousands of HP. I also cleared the turn so that Bojack's lock on the character I did not want locked is now gone, right? Like, I've directly felt like I've won these crazy red zone no item challenge runs. And a huge part is because of this guy. He just brings a lot to the table, right? The powerful active skill, the defensive stacking, right? It's just a very strong combo. And the potential that he guards as well. I like this guy, man. This, to me, is a better example of characters that can really help. Characters that, again, are not just a high attack stat, not just a high defensive stat, but more shit than just that, right? Like the defensive stacking and the active skill and the guard. That's really, really strong. This is a character that can go into a lot of these red zone fights and depending upon the situation can go really crazy and help you win. I like this guy quite a bit. I am very, very fine, you know, throwing this up. Oh my God, Namek Goku at 2. You're goddamn right. Namek Goku is at 2. And then STR Cooler is one we don't need to talk about it. Again, this is a support, 50% support, who's defensive stacking. It's going to be hard to pass this guy. I think it's probably pretty clear to me this guy will be number 1. Maybe, okay, if DOKKANFEST Piccolo gets an EZA with the superhero stuff, and he's like a god next to like Orange Piccolo, I think DOKKANFEST Piccolo could be at the top of this list. But besides that, it's probably not going to be until 8th anniversary where something comes out that actually is like, oh, okay, like he's either, yeah, he's better than Cooler or he might be better than Cooler, right? I do feel like Cooler has a substantial lead over the rest of the list. Cooler just brings a lot to the table, I think. You look at this, all of these characters, and then even going a little bit further, right? So we have it built like this. It's a mess, right? Like, even Omega, I think, can do quite a lot, but he doesn't have a setup, right? It's like STR Rose can go really crazy. There's just these EZATURs, for the most part, like, if I would rank every unit in the game, right? Like, from like, I don't know, Metal Cooler to Omega, like, these units are all within maybe like the top 30 to top 60 or something like that. Like, they're just all like sort of jumbled in there, right? And I feel like for many of these characters on any given turn, their performances can widely vary, right? Huge variance for a lot of these guys. STR Rose, he's, to me, probably the roughest one, where it's like he's pretty much ass unless he finishes an enemy off, which is not a give me by any means. But once he does, he can look pretty good, STR Rose. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. I have my list from pulled up. Let's see, how long ago was the last one we did? October 17th. I did change things quite a bit. Super 17 fell off. Honestly, I probably could put Super 17. I mean, I could probably get him as high as 7. I don't know if I'd put Super 17 above Kid Goku. Again, these EZATUR lists are tough, man. These characters are... they're just a bit of a mess. Again, this guy has fallen off. I dropped him. I'm really developing a hatred for the GT. I just feel like the GT characters are so weak. And, I mean, this guy, a lot of his power is generated from this link set, right? Like this right here. Saiyan Roar 10% defense, Perf for Battle 5% defense, Shotgun Speed 5% defense, Saiyan Lineage 5% defense, GT 10% defense, right? Like, realistically, you want all this shit up. Which you can, if GT was a much better team, right? Like, this guy with all these links up, this is the way all these Super Saiyan 4 characters are, right? You have all these Super Saiyan, like, 4 links, like GT and Saiyan Roar up. Like, yeah, these guys are looking crazy. But, like, if you don't have a bunch of those links up, they're not as impressive for sure. I guess that was basically, is I kind of just dropped the Tech Super Saiyan 4 Goku because I'm developing this, like Pan too. This guy falling coincides with me also dropping Pan to the bottom of the other DOKKANFEST TUR list, right? So yeah, I guess, yeah, okay, yeah, this looks good, So, let me know what you guys think, of the top 10, DOKKANFEST EZA TUR tier list. A lot of mumbo jumbo words right there. Yeah, I'm good with this. Yeah. I really probably like the unit I probably like a lot better than most is in Kid Goku. But again, just him competing with the DOKKANFEST Kid Goku, that hurts Metal Cooler. It hurts this Kid Goku. Both of those characters are hurt by their name. AGL Metal Cooler is criminal too, because this unit should not just be called Metal Cooler, right? Considering he's a giant transforming character. I think him and Demigra are the two characters with giant transformations who don't have different names. AGL Metal Cooler and Demigra are the two. It's very stupid. They should, of course, have different names, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.